Salam guys, my name is Jia and I show Muslim girls how to build their own modest wardrobe from scratch. In today's episode, we've got jilbab. This is actually my favorite modest garment because it is so effortless to style. Just pop it on and go about your day. And you can style these with any accessories that you like to add a personal touch. That's why I think it's a must for every girlie to have in their collection. So in this video, I will show you how to make yourself a jilbab just like this from scratch. Before we jump in, here's a quick overview of what we will be covering so you know what to expect. First, I'll walk you through the jilbab sewing pattern and what comes with it. Then I'll show you how to print the jilbab sewing pattern, what you can do if you don't have a printer. Assembling your pattern, customizing your pattern to your measurement, materials you need, jilbab fabric guide, which fabrics to use and which to avoid, cutting your jilbab, finally, the complete sewing process. So now let's get started. A jilbab sewing pattern is a ready-made template that allows you to cut your fabric for your size without needing to take measurements, making the process super easy and quick. This jilbab sewing patterns comes in 3 different ranges: petite, standard and tall. When you buy, pick the range that fits you best. Once you've purchased, you will get this PDF and you will need to print this out, and I will go over how to do this in the later section. Before we start, if you are someone who has never sewn before and want to learn, then your jilbab sewing pattern will come with a free beginner sewing course. This quick free sewing course comes with a follow along video tutorial to teach you core sewing skills to get you started. Let's see what the course will cover. In section 1, you will learn about all the must-have tools for sewing, where to buy these and stay on a budget. In section 2, you will start learning about your sewing machine, going over the basic components, how to set it up and use it. In section 3, you will start practicing sewing using the sewing practice sheets, which I will go over in a bit. After completing this section, you will have the basic skills needed to start sewing and use your sewing machine. If you need, complete this course and come back to sew your jilbab. For now, let's have a look at what is included. Alongside the jilbab sewing pattern, you will also get the info pack. This will include the info sheet which tells you the size guide, the materials and tools you need, pattern formations to assemble your pattern. The skirt sheet will include measurements to cut your skirt according to your size. Jilbab sewing checklist. This includes all the steps to complete sewing your jilbab. Use this to stay organized and track your progress. Lastly, you will have a tutorial sheet. When scanned, you'll be taken to this video. Now let's get working. Before I show you how to print, I wanted to go over what you can do if you don't have a printer. You can print at your local library. They have computers and printers available for everyone to use. I used to do this all the time before I got my own printer. If you go to school, college or uni, you could also print there. There are shops called internet cafes which have computers and printers that you can use for a small fee. I have also used these many times. You might have this in your local area. And lastly, you may be able to ask your family and friends for printing. So first, open your PDF and go to print. Once you have opened up print, make sure copies is 1 and layout is portrait. Then under pages, select the last option and put 1. Putting in 1 means that we will only be printing off the first page. We do this for testing purposes. You will see in a minute. Then make sure black and white and print on one side is selected. Then click on more settings and select actual size. Make sure page per sheet is 1 and then print. After the print comes out, it will have a square which will be 3 by 3 inches. Then get a ruler and measure it. Once you have made sure that it is 3 inches, then you can print off the rest of the pad. To finish off printing, go to print and make a note of the number of sheets at the top. Then you will go to pages and pick the last option. You will put in 2 till the amount of sheets. So in this case, it will be 2 till 28. After that, keep all settings same and go to print. After printing, you will have this bundle. Go to the next section to assemble your pattern. After printing, you will have a bundle of sheets like this, which we will separate into 3 different piles: the front, the info pack and the back. To do this, start by removing the sheets until you reach the info pack. Next, take out the info pack, which will include the info sheet, the skirt sheet and the jilbab sewing checklist. Finally, you will be left with the back pile. Now we are going to assemble our pattern. We will first assemble the front pattern. To do this, grab the info sheet and look at the pattern formations in the bottom corner. These will guide you on how the pieces should be arranged. For the first layer, as you can see, you will need sheet 1, 2 and 3. Start by trimming off the right edge of sheet 1 and 2. You can use scissors or a ruler to tear off the edge like this. Or you can use my preferred method, which is to align the ruler with the margin and use a cutter for a clean straight cut. Once you're done trimming the edges of the sheet, we are going to stick them together. My favorite method is to apply glue on the left hand edge and stick these together. When you are sticking, make sure to join the two triangles on each sheet so they'll come together to form a diamond. This will make sure everything is aligned properly. If you don't have glue, then you can use clear tape to stick the sheets together like shown. There is another method you can use which only requires a stapler. Start by folding the edges of the sheets along the margin where they overlap. Once folded, fold sheet 2 the other way. Once folded, align the sheets so that the patterns match up. And then staple along the fold to hold them together securely. This method is not as accurate as the previous two methods, but still does the job pretty well. After you have chosen the method you are going to use, let's carry on assembling. As you can see, for the next layer, you will need sheet 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Once you have assembled both layers, they should look like this. Now we will stick them together. To do this, snip off the bottom edge of layer 1 and apply glue where we are going to stick. If you are using a different method, then please adapt accordingly to ensure a secure attachment. Then carry on assembling rest of the layers. Now stick all the layers together. Once you're done, your front pattern will look like this. Now repeat the same process for the back pattern. Once done, your pattern will look like this, and now I'm going to show you how to cut out your size. Start by snipping off this edge. Then check the size guide on the pattern and select the size that fits you best. I am a size M, so I will be cutting along the M line throughout the whole pattern. Follow this around the whole pattern and it will look like this. Now we will do the same for the back patterns. Now we will cut out the head panel. At the front of the head panel, you'll see the size markings. Cut on your size and then continue to cut around the rest of the pattern. Well done, you have now finished assembling your jilbab sewing pattern and you should have these 3 pieces.
In this section, we'll personalize the pattern, but this step is optional. If you're happy with the pattern as it is, you can skip ahead to the next section. I'll be showing you how to shorten the length of your jilbab. The pattern is created using average sizing, just like most ready-made clothing. This means it may not be a perfect fit for everyone, and that's completely normal. The good news is, you can easily adjust it to suit your height. How to check the length? Start by measuring the full length of your jilbab pattern. I'm using a builder's measuring tape. Set it to the pattern length and lock it in place. Stand in front of a full-length mirror and ask someone to help measure you. With your arms relaxed, measure down from the top of your ear. This gives you a rough idea of where the jilbab will fall once sewn. Keep in mind that seam allowances will shorten the final length slightly, usually by about 2 inches. If you're happy with this length, you can move on. If not, decide how much you'd like to shorten the pattern, for example, 2, 3, or 4 inches. Make a note of this measurement, as we'll use it later when we start cutting.
In this section, I'm going to talk you through everything you are going to need to sew your jilbab. To figure this out, start by looking at the info sheet to determine what you need to buy and what you already have. To do this, highlight the items you already own and you'll be left with a clear list of what you need to get. Now let's go through each item you'll need, starting from the top of the list. As you can see, the info sheet specifies how much fabric to buy and the width of the fabric. I'm using light to medium weight crepe fabric. Next, you will need a wide waist elastic that is 1 to 1.2 inches wide, along with a narrow wrist elastic that ranges from 0.3 to 0.5 inches wide. Then you need a matching thread to your fabric. Now let's move on to the tools you will need. First thing that you will need to sew your jilbab is a sewing machine. You will also need pins, fabric scissors, measuring tape or a big ruler, a marking tool, a seam ripper. Last thing you'll need is an iron.
In this section, we will go over the types of fabrics you can use to sew jilbabs. Before we begin, remember, this guide is here to help you, not limit you. The fabrics I mention are great options, but I really encourage you to experiment and trust your own judgment. That's what makes sewing fun. I've organized this guide so you can easily find what you need based on season, lifestyle, or usage. Fabric requirements for making a jilbab. These requirements will help you choose fabric by narrowing down your options based on the right properties. What the fabric should be. Light to medium weight, around 90 to 270 GSM. It shouldn't feel heavy and should have a nice flow. Semi-opaque to opaque. It can let a small amount of light through, but should still offer coverage. You can always layer something underneath if needed. Flowy and drapey. The fabric should feel soft and fall naturally, moving gently as you walk. What to avoid. Super stretchy, thin fabrics, these tend to cling and hang awkwardly. Heavy or very thick fabrics, these can weigh your head down and create a bulky look. Stiff or non-flowy fabrics, they have little movement and can make the jilbab look rigid. Sheer or see-through fabrics, these won't give proper coverage. How to choose fabric in person. Feel the fabric in your hand, it should be light to medium weight. Hold it up, it should fall naturally and have a nice drape. Check softness, it should feel comfortable and smooth. Test the opacity, hold it against the light. It should let through little to no light, but when placed on your skin, it must still provide full coverage. Check the stretch. Ideally there should be little to no stretch, just a slight give. If you choose something stretchy, make sure it isn't too stretchy. Ask for the fabric width. Your sewing pattern info sheet will tell you the recommended width. By following this guide, you'll be able to choose fabric in person without worrying about exact fabric names. Just focus on the fabric's feel, weight, and drape, and you'll be able to pick the right fabric for your jilbab. Now let's go through some fabric names, and I will also add a guide to buying fabrics online. Fabric names. Nidar fabric, 100% polyester. This is the most common fabric used to make abayas and jilbabs. Fabric properties and characteristics. Durable. Wrinkle resistant. Has smooth texture. And high drape and flow. However, it has a synthetic feel and is less breathable. If you're aiming for that traditional look similar to the jilbabs commonly found in the market, then this is the fabric I recommend. Crepe fabric, 100% polyester. Alternative to Nidar fabric, but slightly textured and less smooth. This comes in various weights, thicknesses and finish. I make most of my jilbab using this fabric. Fabric properties and characteristics. Durable. Wrinkle resistant. Slightly textured. Has high drape and flow. Affordable. However, it has a synthetic feel and is less breathable. If you're aiming for that traditional look similar to the jilbabs commonly found in the market, then this is the fabric I recommend. Satin fabric. Smooth and shiny on one side, dull on the other. Use this to make fancy jilbabs, special occasion wear, or a glossy everyday look. Fabric properties and characteristics. Durable. Luxurious appearance. Shiny finish. High drape and flow. However, it is prone to wrinkling and is slippery when sewing. If you're looking for an elegant, flowy and delicate look, then choose satin. Rayon fabric. Rayon is made from natural sources like wood pulp, but processed with chemicals. It feels like cotton or silk, drapes beautifully, and is breathable, perfect for modest, flowy garments. This is one of my favorites to use to make jilbabs for summer. Fabric properties and characteristics. Breathable and comfortable to wear. Great for summer. Prone to wrinkling. Soft and smooth, feels like cotton or silk. Drapes beautifully. May shrink if not pre-washed. If you're looking for soft, breathable fabric for summer or everyday wear, then I recommend rayon. Rayon comes in many different finishes. Matte finish, soft and natural looking, perfect for a clean, everyday jilbab. Slight sheen, has a gentle shine, making it ideal for formal or elegant styles. Crinkled or crepe finish, lightly textured and wrinkle-friendly, great for travel or daily wear. Printed finish, comes with patterns like florals or geometrics, perfect for casual or seasonal looks. Jersey. Jersey fabric is stretchy fabric and comes in variety of weights, thickness and finishes. The type of fiber used to make the fabric affects the look, feel and behavior of the fabric. Fabric properties and characteristics. Usually made from cotton, polyester, or blends. Breathable and cool. May wrinkle. Sometimes prone to pilling, little fabric balls. Light to medium weight. Soft and stretchy. Recommended jersey fabric to make jilbabs. Rayon polyester, soft, silky feel with good strength and drape. Viscose blend, smooth, soft, and lightweight with excellent drape. Instructions. Use appropriate needle when sewing. Refer to your sewing machine manual. Fit might be bigger after sewing, may need to cut smaller around neck and sleeves. More recommendations.
Start by searching on the internet with the project keywords like lightweight cotton or stretch fabric, or search fabric for sale. Check out a few different sites for more options, variety and value for money. Now I am going to show you how to navigate through an online fabric site so you don't feel overwhelmed. If you have already got a fabric name in mind, then you can click Shop by Name. This will give a list of all the fabrics they sell and you can pick the one you are interested in and see all options available. However, if you don't have a fabric name in mind but know what you are making, then you can shop by category and see what you like. You can also use the filter feature if you know what properties you are looking for. Then you will be shown a list of options. Once you select a fabric, start by looking at the description. Look for keywords such as smooth, shiny, special occasions and drape. This will tell you how the fabric feels, looks and behaves in person. Next, look at photos and zoom in if need be. Also, check reviews from other buyers. Usually these include photos of the finished project. This will help you see how the fabric looks after sewing. Next thing to look at is properties and composition. This will tell you all the important information, such as the composition, the weight and most importantly how wide the fabric is. Fabrics with wider width will give more surface area to work with. You would also want to look at instructions. This will include how to care for the fabric and how to prepare it for sewing. Also look at how much the fabric will shrink. You might have to get extra fabric to accommodate. If you are still unsure, then buy a sample. Usually this is very cheap or free. This way you can feel the fabric, test drape, stretch, and transparency before committing to a large piece.
In this section, we'll be cutting out all the pieces for your jilbab. Before we start, make sure your fabric is prepared, meaning you've washed and dried it the same way you'll wash the finished garment. This prevents shrinkage later and helps your jilbab fit properly. You can refer to this fabric prep guide if you need help. We have 5 parts to cut, and I'll walk you through each one step by step. Step 1. Fold the fabric. Fold your fabric lengthwise, from selvage to selvage. Selvages are the finished woven edges of the fabric. Lay the folded fabric on a clear, flat surface. Smooth it out and straighten the folded edge as much as you can. Getting the fold neat will make it easier to place the pattern correctly. If your fabric is slippery, you can pin it to keep it still. Mine isn't too slippery, so I'll continue without pinning. Step 2. Cutting the front piece. Now it's time to cut. If you're not adjusting the length of the pattern, continue watching. If you are making a length change, skip to the timestamp, or the section called Length Adjustment. Grab your front pattern piece, and place the left side of the pattern on the fold. If needed, gently shift your fabric so everything lines up. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. Pin the pattern in place and trace around it. Once you finish marking, remove the pins, and as you remove them, pin the fabric layers together so nothing shifts. Your markings should now look like this. Grab your scissors and cut out the shape. Also cut off the selvage on the sleeve area. That's your front piece done. Step 3. Cutting the back piece. Cutting the back is very similar. Place the back pattern piece right below where the front was, like this. Pin it in place. Mark all around the pattern. Then remove it. Before you lift the front pattern off completely, fold the sleeve section right where the selvage begins. We're doing this so you have the exact sleeve reference for cutting out the sleeves later. Now remove the pattern and cut along the markings. Also, remember to cut off the selvage on the sleeve area, and that's your back piece done. From here, move on to the skirt cutting section in the video. In this section, I will show you how to cut your jilbab if you want to adjust the length. Grab your front pattern piece and place the left side of the pattern on the fold. If needed, gently shift your fabric so everything lines up. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. Pin the pattern in place. Once you are done pinning, get the length you measured earlier, or the amount you want to shorten it by. For example, if I want to make it 3 inches shorter, I will mark 3 inches up from the bottom of the pattern like so. Then get the back piece and place on the marked point, making sure the left edges are aligned and then pin to secure. Then get the marking tool and start marking across from the top right corner of the back piece, until you reach the exposed fabric so it has a little marked point like this. Then mark all around the pattern. Once you finish marking, remove the pins, and as you remove them, pin the fabric layers together so nothing shifts. Your markings should now look like this. Now place the back piece at the point you marked on the pattern, and mark like shown to connect. You have finished marking front piece. Grab your scissors and cut out the shape. Also cut off the selvage on the sleeve area. That's your front piece done. Step 3. Cutting the back piece. Cutting the back is very similar. Repeat the same process you did for the front piece. Before you lift the front pattern off completely, fold the sleeve section right where the selvage begins. We're doing this so you have the exact sleeve reference for cutting out the sleeves later. Now remove the pattern. This time once you get to this point, place the back piece where you marked on the pattern and pin in place. Then trace the curve until this point. Then move the back piece across like this, so the corner aligns with the marking edge and it is aligning with the curve. Then pin in place and start tracing to complete the marking. Then remove the pattern, and you are done marking the back, and cut along the markings. Also, remember to cut off the selvage on the sleeve area, and that's your back piece done. Cutting the skirt. In this section, we'll be cutting the skirt to go with our jilbab. For the skirt, we'll be cutting 2 pieces so the skirt is wider. A wider skirt gives you more comfort when walking, sitting, and especially when praying. It won't restrict your movement. So let's get started. Step 1. Lay out the fabric. Fold and lay your fabric flat on a clear surface, just like we did before. Step 2. Check your skirt sheet. Grab your skirt measurement sheet. This tells you your skirt length and folded width based on your size. For example, I'm a size M, so my length is 44 inches. And folded width is 41 inches. Step 3. Mark and cut the first skirt piece. Start by marking a straight line at the top edge of your fabric, so we have got an even reference point to start with. From that straightened line, mark your skirt length downwards. Make several marks and then connect them into a straight line. Now cut the top straight edge and the selvage. Before cutting the bottom edge, measure the width you're getting. I'm getting 29 inches. But we know our full folded width should be 41 inches. So right now, we only have 29 inches. To make up the 41 inches, we will cut out a joint. For now, make a note of your width measurement, and then cut along your marked line. Step 4. Marking and cutting the skirt joint. Start by refolding your fabric neatly, and make sure everything is aligned. Again mark a straight line at the top. Now get your full folded width from the skirt sheet, and take away your width measurement from earlier. The difference is the measurement you need to mark on the fabric, just like this. Now place your tape on those points and mark your length, which remains the same. Then square off and join the remaining points. Then cut out this second piece. And that's it. You've finished cutting all the skirt pieces for your jilbab. In the next section, we will cut the head panel. Cut off the bottom part of the leftover fabric and fold down like shown, and make sure to straighten the fold as much as possible. For more accuracy in cutting, you can iron the fold to flatten it. Then pin the fabric in place so it doesn't move during cutting. Then place your head panel piece on the folded fabric and make sure that the corner and the top edge aligns. It doesn't need to be perfect, just close enough. Then pin the pattern in place. Now take your marking tool and trace all around the pattern. Then at this point draw a small short line downwards, just like shown in the video. Then remove the pins, and as you remove them, pin the fabric underneath so it stays aligned. Now, from that small line you marked earlier, extend the marking into the traced area. Once everything is marked, cut out the head panel shape. Then cut a tiny notch at the point you marked, no bigger than 3 mm. This will help with alignment later. After cutting, it should be looking like this. Cutting the sleeves. Now we'll use the leftover fabric to cut the sleeves. Start by folding it down. And get your pattern to place it next to edge of the fabric like so. Then flip over the sleeve, making sure the pattern fold is aligning with the fabric edge. Then pin in place and trace around. Then remove the pins and pin the fabric below and cut. You've now finished cutting the sleeves and completed the entire cutting process for your jilbab. Well done, you're ready to move on to the sewing process.
Step 1. Iron your headpiece. Take your headpiece and fold it in half, making sure the wrong side of the fabric is facing out. The wrong side of the fabric is simply the inside of the fabric, the side you don't want to show on the outside of your clothing. Easy way to remember. Right side is the nice side, shows on the outside. Wrong side is inside, hidden when you wear it. After ironing, pin in place so it does not move when we sew. Sewing time. We will start sewing from the corners to the little cut that we added, and repeat to the other side. Once you get to the notch, slow down and reverse stitch. Then remove and trim all excess threads and repeat to the other side. Once you are done sewing both sides, remove the pins. After removing all the pins, turn the head panel inside out just like this. In this section we will attach the head panel to the back piece. Start by taking your headpiece and iron. When ironing, make sure to push the corners out, this will help us when sewing. Then fold it in half and iron to set in place. This will give us a midpoint to work with later on. Then get your back piece, it is curved at the bottom. Place it wrong side facing up, and also fold this in half and iron. Step 2. Pinning the head and back pieces together. Start by placing both head and back pieces together so the midpoints align, then mark like so and lift and mark the layer underneath. Then flip over the head panel on top of the back piece, making sure the marked points align. Readjust if needed. Then flip back the upper layer and pin like shown. Then, making sure that the marking points are aligned, pin both of the remaining layers together. Once you get to the corners, make sure to align closely and pin to secure. Your pinning should be looking like this. Sewing time. We will sew from one edge to another. Before starting sewing, readjust if needed. Once done, take out the pins and iron the seam. Then flip over and pin the headpiece in through the middle. When we sew this part, we will be turning the edge under like this and sew on top. If you need, you can iron the turned edge before you start sewing so it is easier when sewing. When turning, make sure to tuck the raw edges under and you are covering the stitching underneath. It should be looking like this. Then carry on turning as you sew and make sure you are not pulling the fabric, as this can cause extra fabric to be left over at the end. Finally, remove the pins and you are done. In this section we will be attaching front and back pieces together. Start by taking the front piece and we will double turn the top edge on the wrong side and sew. Once you are done sewing, lay out the back piece flat with the right side facing up on a clear surface. Then place the front piece on top with the wrong side up and align all the edges. Once you are happy with the alignment, pin to secure. Once you get to the other side, the front piece might be aligning bigger than the back. Just simply align with the back piece like this and carry on pinning.
Guys, your pinning should be looking like this on the edges. This might be a little bit bigger, which is good. That's what we want. Something like that.
Now we will sew the edges close. Before you start sewing, realign and reverse stitch several times to secure. Then rotate the fabric like this so you are sewing along the edge. Once you are done, trim off threads and take the pins out. Also make sure that the stitching at the start is secure, if not re-stitch to secure. Then change the stitch setting to zigzag stitch, and now we will finish off the edge so it does not fray. Once you are done, all your stitching should be looking like this, then repeat this to the other side and you are done. In this section we will be adding sleeves to your jilbab. Start by opening up your jilbab at this point and place it right side up. Then iron. Then get your sleeve pieces and fold it in half and iron. Then place the wider side of the sleeve piece on the jilbab with right side down. Make sure that the sleeve midpoint aligns with the seam. Then pin in place and repeat to the other side. We will sew across like this. After you are done sewing, change to zigzag stitch and we will finish off the edge. If needed, trim off any fraying threads and then finish off the edge. Then repeat to the other side, and now we can move on to the next step. After you are done sewing, the sleeve piece may be a little bit bigger at this point. If this is the case, then fold the sleeve in half and use a ruler or a measuring tape to mark a line slightly at an angle like shown and trim off. Now we will be marking a line straight across for elastic placement. For this part you will need a measuring tape, marking tool and wrist elastic. To do this, start by getting the width of your elastic, mine is 0.5 inches. And add 1 to this, and this will give you the marking measurement. In my case it is 1.5 inches, so I will mark this all across on the wrong side of the sleeve like this. After marking, connect the points to form a line and repeat this to the other sleeve. Once you are done marking both of your sleeves, it's time to get your wrist elastic measurement. You can either find this on the sleeve of your pattern or you can measure your own wrist and add 1 inch. This is the method I recommend as it is more accurate and only takes 2 minutes. The measurement for my wrist is 6.25 inches and I will add 1 to this, which would make it 7.25 inches. Now get your elastic and mark this measurement like shown. Now finally you are all ready to sew. Start by aligning the elastic edge on the marked line, leaving around ½ inch gap at the top and pin in place. Then we will sew back and forth like this to secure it in place, and once done, trim off all threads. Now realign the elastic with the marked line and turn the fabric over closely. Then pin in place to secure. Now turn in the raw edge like shown and start sewing slowly. As we sew, we will keep turning and realigning the elastic with the marked line. One thing to make sure throughout is to not sew on the elastic at any point, only sew at the turned edge, otherwise your elastic will not pull through and it will cause issues once you are done. Therefore, go slowly and take your time turning and realigning. Once you are done, trim off any loose threads and take out the pin. Then pull the elastic from one end and push the sleeve casing to the opposite direction, until the marking on the elastic is revealed. Once it is revealed, push it in slightly, no more than 1/2 inch, and pin in place to secure. Then sew like shown. After you are done, cut the elastic like shown. Remove the pin and you are done. Repeat this to the other side and you will have 2 sleeves that looks just like this. In this section we will be hemming our jilbab. There are 2 hems to sew, front one which is straight and the back one which is curved. We will start by sewing the front hem. For this we will double turn the bottom edge on the wrong side of the fabric and sew. Once you are done, place your jilbab on a clear flat surface and align closely like shown. Then lift the front hem at the corner like this and mark underneath on the back on both sides. This will be our guide to where to start and stop sewing the back hem. When sewing, make sure you are turning the back hem away from the front like this and sewing on the wrong side of the back piece. We will start at the marked point, and to start off, we will only turn the edge once. As you are turning, make sure that you are not pulling, just take your time turning and make sure it is consistent as much as possible. If your fold looks like this at some points, it is okay. Now iron the hem to flatten it. Then turn once more and sew again to complete. Well done, you have now finished hemming your jilbab.
In this section, we will close the sides of your jilbab. This is pretty straightforward. Lay your jilbab piece flat and align the sides like so and pin in place. When you get to the bottom corners, align like shown. Now we will sew the sides close.
After you are done sewing, change to zigzag stitch and we will finish off the edge.
Lastly, give your jilbab a good iron, especially along the seams, so everything looks neat and smooth. In this section, we will sew the skirt. Start by placing the bigger piece of your skirt right side up. Then take the smaller piece and place it on top of the bigger piece like this, making sure the wrong side is facing up, so both of the right sides are facing each other. Then align the edges and pin. Now we will sew this edge close. After sewing, change to zigzag stitch to finish off the edge. Once done, remove all the pins. Now we will add the waist elastic to the skirt. For this section you will need elastic 1 to 2 inches wide, measuring tape, marking tool, and skirt sheet from your info pack. So let's get started. This is pretty much the same as we did for the sleeves, just a lot bigger. Start by laying your skirt flat on a clear surface wrong side up. Now take your elastic and measure the width. We will add 0.5 inch to this and it will give us our marking measurements. My elastic is 1 inch and adding ½ inch to this means I will be marking at 1.5 inches. From here you can choose either side of the skirt to mark on. Mark along the top edge like so. Then connect the marked points to form a line. Then get your skirt sheet, and at the bottom look at the elastic measurement for your size. I am a size medium, so I will mark 27.9 inches onto the elastic. Once you are done marking, place your elastic along the marked line, leaving ½ inch gap and pin in place. Now we will sew this like we sewed the sleeve elastic. Start by securing the elastic like this. Then turn and sew. Make sure to keep aligning the elastic with the marked line as you sew. Once you are done sewing, Pull the elastic from one side and push the skirt casing to the other side. This will reveal the marked point on the elastic. Then push it in until this point and sew to secure it in place. Once done, cut the elastic and stretch the elastic like this until the gathering is evenly distributed. Now on the wrong side of the skirt, get to the bottom edge and we will double turn this. Make sure you are turning this over onto the wrong side of the fabric. Now final part. Place the skirt on clear flat surface, right side up, and fold over in half like this. Align closely and pin in place. We will sew and finish off this edge. Once done, give it an iron, press the seams and you have finished sewing your jilbab.
Now goodbye.